When it comes to autobiographies, I'm not a huge fan. Or biographies. I feel that some of the books are very, very boring and they don't engage me with the details that I really want covered, because these books that cover a person's life can only delve so deep and can only cover so much without them being a 20-volume set. Now, I love books. I love reading books. I love smelling books. Oh, yeah. I love collecting books. I love promoting books. Anything book related, I'm on it. When it comes to music, I'm on it too. Passionate about music. Music and books, any kind of art form, any kind of form of expression, any kind of form of creation that people pull out of the ether. Books and music. Words and notes. When you combine the two, I'm on that right now. I'm going to have to take a gamble and see if that creation is worth my time. Now, a creation that combines words and music is going to be My Effin Life. This is an autobiography by Geddy Lee. Now, Geddy Lee is the bass player and the keyboard player and the vocalist for the band Rush. Rush has been around since 1974. This autobiography, I bought it because I wanted to know more about the band Rush. I wanted to know more about the man. One third of the band Rush. I wanted to get to know what shaped him and what experiences he had. And of course, I wanted to hear about some of the stories involving touring and behind the scenes type information behind so many of my favorite records. It really starts, I'm not going to spoil that much because I want you to go and read it, but to get a good idea of what is contained in it. Now, you've got the first part, which covers his parents. His parents were Holocaust survivors, so they survived World War II, and they basically were in these camps that were absolutely horrific. And I was hesitant on even reading that section because it doesn't cover the man that I want to read about, but it does lay down a good background of the history that he carries with him. So it's relevant. And it was very interesting to read. I think it ended just at the right time. It didn't drag on to make it, too long and take you out of the experience that you want to have, which is starting with Geddy's childhood. And you obviously get to read about the genesis of Rush. Now, that was the best part. Getting to get some of the behind the scenes information on how the albums were made and some of the crazy stories when they were touring. I couldn't believe some of these things happened. And it's interesting reading about Geddy's regret and about how he kind of feels bad about some of the things that he did during his long career, but how he also acknowledges that and how he sticks to his guns on certain things. So I gotta I respect him for that. Even though he has been part of a awesome, awesome band, he seems to be humble in his story, his life story, so far. So it's a very, very interesting read. I can't recommend it enough. If you're a fan of Rush, or if you just want to read about the journey of a musician. some of the stories I just could not believe, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like him. But do you really truly know someone that is in the limelight, someone that you listen to through a pair of headphones, or maybe you've gone to dozens of Rush's concerts? You don't know the person, but getting to read this book, it really opened my eyes up to see some of the struggle and some of the turmoil and the difficulty and the possible threat of a divorce. There's all these elements that are covered that I really didn't have my eyes open to. You look at people's success, but you also have to realize that there's a price they pay for that, either that chance for success, or they get the success, and to maintain that, there's a cost. And that's explained in this book. And I think it's written very well. There are times that you're shocked, but they get balanced by many times where I just had to put the book down and just laugh for a minute because the story was totally insane. I could see myself rereading this again in 10 years or so because I'm probably going to forget about a lot of it. And who knows, maybe there'll be a second part diving deeper into certain parts of his life. I would buy it. What I really want is I want Alex, his bandmate, to have his own autobiography, or if he doesn't want to write it, biography. That would be so interesting. But either way, this book, My Effin Life, go and get a copy. It's not through a small limited press. It's not expensive. It's just a normal hardcover with a glued binding, standard dust jacket. You got a spine with everything, but nothing on the boards. There are tons of pictures, some in black and white, some in color. So many pictures. Here is when he's younger. You got a lot of pictures of them behind the scenes at concerts, sometimes on the stage. It's just really interesting. I think the artwork, the photos really help kind of break up some of the chapters that are just really long. And I'm not going to lie to you, some of them are more dry, but the information is very pertinent if you're interested in Rush's success, career, struggle, and what it takes. And like some of the areas covering the production or having a different producer for an album was on the surface boring, but it's not, because you really get to appreciate the work that goes into an album, especially an album that you really love, if it's one of your favorite Rush albums. So go and get a copy of this. Read it for yourself. Experience Geddy's life journey from childhood to the retirement of Rush. Well, but again, after this book was released, they're going to be touring. Maybe a limited short tour, but you'll be able to see Rush, at least Alex and Geddy, on stage again performing.